Everything you need to know about stomach fat. This is episode 1, part 1. And this is going to be kind of like a Netflix series. So it's going to be 2 parts. Part 1 is going to be everything bloating, gut health related. Part 2 is going to be everything stomach fat related. It's going to be multiple episodes for both. For more information about this and the structure of what you've missed so far, go read the description box below. If you're new here, hi, I'm Isabella. I'm a fat loss expert seen in various UK newspapers. So for today's episode, I want you to forget everything you know about allergy and food intolerances. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of things we know by what we haven't experienced is what the media's told us. For example, schizophrenia. When we were watching a film and a character's schizophrenic, we know this because they will have hallucinations and delusions. However, you can be schizophrenic without those symptoms because there's different types of schizophrenia and there's positive and negative symptoms. However, it's easier to convey the hallucinations and delusions, the positive symptoms, through movie, TV, books, because someone will watch it and be like, oh yes, they're telling me that they're schizophrenic. If I show you other symptoms of schizophrenia, it's going to be hard for you to know without someone in that film or book, whatever, saying this is schizophrenia. It's the same with allergies. We have immediate reaction allergies and delayed reaction allergies. Now, both of these allergies are not food intolerances. That's separate. I'll come on to that. The immediate reaction is what you see on TV. You have some peanuts, you have some certain types of seafood, and then bam, reaction. Your throat gets tight. Your face maybe swell up and you have to go hospital. It can be fatal. However, a delayed food allergy, the symptoms you can experience may be days after or even weeks after. Now, the reason I want to highlight this to you is because with delayed food allergies, most of the symptoms tend to be in the gut, whilst the immediate allergies tends to be on the face, on the skin, the throat, other parts of the body. Now, with the delayed one, because the symptoms are like diarrhea, constipation, you will experience some sort of bloating. Now, there are some skin reactions with it, but most of the symptoms tend to be in the gut. That's why I think it's important for you to understand it.
I've created this chart to keep it very simple so you can screenshot.
And this is because I had some clients that be like to me, oh, when I wake up in the morning, my stomach is flat, and then when I eat, that gets bigger. I'll come on to that on a different episode. Or they'll be like, oh, some days I have a flat stomach, some days I don't. This could be why. And I don't want you to go on an unnecessary calorie deficit for no reason when the issue is to do with maybe an allergy or gut health. That's why I think it's important for you to understand. Now, for the immediate reaction allergy, you can get tested at your doctor's, or most likely you would have learnt through life experiences that you are allergic. When it comes to delayed food allergies, there is no test. Even though both are immune system response, the markers to test for it are completely different. What you need to do for a delayed food allergy is to keep a book, write what you've eaten and the symptoms you've had. And these symptoms, like I said, maybe days after, weeks after, or maybe even hours after, depending on how severe it is. You need to keep a book and either exclude food and then slowly introduce them, but do it underneath the supervision of your doctor. Now let's talk about why there isn't a test for delayed food allergies, even though it is also an immune system response mediated by T cells as opposed to IgE. T cells do not have clear markers, so when it comes to routine labs, it won't be easy to identify. Now that we've got that out the way, let's talk about food intolerances. So food intolerances, like I said, is a chemical reaction to food. What I want you to know about food intolerances is do not buy any test. There isn't any test for food intolerances. I know there's loads online that you can buy, especially hair strand test, but this is literally a scam. There is no evidence behind it. You need to keep a food diary, and I understand it's time consuming, and I understand you might have a lot of trial and error, but trust me, strand tests are complete BS. There's no science behind it, and I've helped hundreds of people get refunds back from it, because when they get these results are so stupid. It will say stuff like, you have a food intolerance to hot chocolate and hummus. And if we take away emotions from it, because obviously if you're someone who always experiences bloating, your emotions are going to be stronger than kind of having a critical analysis because you're focused on the emotions of things, especially when it's been going on for so long. But what part of hummus? Is it the tahini, the sesame seed oil, the sesame seed paste, or is it the chickpeas? Or is it both? Like, so why have they not clarified which one it is? Hot chocolate. What if you make it with water and you don't make it with milk? So are you allergic to the cocoa powder? But some mixes you can get already has milk in the cocoa powder. So what is it? And How they test these hair strand tests actually tells you what you've eaten recently as opposed to what you're actually intolerant to. Now, some of these companies will say to you, oh no, we do have studies about it, it's scientifically backed. Because a study exists doesn't mean it is fact. It doesn't mean it is scientifically backed. It doesn't mean it's proved. These companies will pay for studies to be done. And like I said, if there's one study, that doesn't mean that is fact. You need to have studies done in different settings, control different variables. You want it to be reliable in the sense that someone can easily replicate the study. You want certain conditions controlled. You want to have validity. So when something becomes a fact based on science, we've had multiple testings, multiple papers. We've had it controlled in different ways, different settings, different types of participants. There are different things involved. It's never ever one study. Also, I'm pretty sure it was either BBC or ITV, and you can Google this. They gave a hair of a dog to these labs and just a human's hair, and they both got the same results. They couldn't identify it was dog's hair. Now let's also talk about green juices, gut gummies, probiotics. Green juices, please stop wasting your money. I do not care who's made it. I don't care the price point. Ridiculous, okay? I've mentioned in other videos on my page, for good gut health, you need 30 grams of fiber a day, you need diversity, you need to exercise, you need to be hydrated, okay? So when it comes to these green juices, what are they meant to be giving? Because when it comes to fiber, these green juices only have like max 2 grams of fiber a day, so you're better off eating a vegetable or having like an apple or something. So what's the purpose? And if they say added vitamins, most of the time these would have vitamins that exceed your daily allowance. And long term, this can cause harm. It can even affect blood test results, and you don't want to have something like that. If you use it as a supplement because you like the taste, a supplement in the sense that you focus on your diet, and if you feel like, oh, I just want to have an extra boost, fine. If you want to do that with your money, go ahead. But it will not do anything for your gut health. Some of these also advertise that they have a probiotic blend or a bunch of probiotic strands. Here's what I have to say to that. True probiotics need to live in a certain condition. And also when it comes to supplements, especially the UK, this is regulated by food, not by pharmaceuticals. So all that has to do is be safe to consume. It doesn't have to do what it's going to say, what it's going to do. Also, from what we know when it comes to research with gut health, is that probiotics is very hard for them to reach the gut alive. And I'll explain in further detail in another video. But our digestive system starts with our mouth, technically like nose and mouth, whatever. So it has to go through so many stages in our body. And it's proven time and time again, it is hard for all of those probiotic blends to reach the gut alive. And again, if they have a study, they've probably paid for it. Also, there is literally no way they can prove it will have a positive impact on your gut when they've just done one study, and I'll tell you why. Gut microbiome has so many factors affecting it. For example, if you and your sibling, one of you was born by C-section and the other one was born through a vaginal birth, you're already going to have different gut microbiomes because that's a factor. That's a pretty interesting fact. So how do you control that when it comes to studies? Are you like, okay, let's just do twin studies? Fine, you can do a twin study, but stress, the environment and lifestyle, that all affects. And even if you just do a twin study because you're like, okay, I've controlled this many variables, how often can you replicate that study? Because sample size affects the validity. And with twins, how are you going to replicate that around the world? Because UK twins would be completely different from maybe somewhere in the Mediterranean, because Mediterranean tends to follow the Mediterranean diet. They have high diversity, and that's really good for your gut health. So their gut is going to be a completely different state compared to maybe a typical UK British diet. So how do you control things to then end up having enough evidence to know about how probiotics react? Does that make sense? So I would not waste your money on it. Also, when it comes to probiotic blends, there's loads of different strands of probiotics and bacteria. Not everyone needs the same types because everyone's gut is different. And with these green juices, they'll just write probiotic blend. They will not specify exactly what makes up this blend. So there's no guarantee it will work for you or it will do anything. Also, if you have IBS, a lot of the ingredients in these green juices will make your IBS worse. And this is why gut gummies also don't work. It's the same thing. Same reasoning. I want to make sure that you guys save your money and do things that will actually benefit you. I've thrown a lot at you today, and this may have a lot of novel information, so I'm going to stop the video here, and in the next episode we're going to learn everything about the digestive tract, because it isn't just to do with the stomach. And from that we'll talk about all the different causes of bloating, because there isn't a one cause for bloating. There's lots of different reasons, and this is why stuff like gut gummies and green juices do not solve bloating and does not help with bloating. So those marketing claims are completely false. I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, let me know down below. See you next time. Bye.